Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, I'm Noyanika and I talk about books, sometimes about my life here and there, but it's mostly about books. So I wanted to ask you, how is your 2024 going so far? Because for me, I feel like I'm already done with 2024 because I'm already tired, but again, it's just the first week of January and I feel like there's a lot more to do, a lot more things to do. And even though I set up a few goals that I wanted to complete this month, I feel like that's going nowhere. So, yeah. So, just let me know how your 2024 is going, and I'm just going to be living in my ignorance for a while. Anyway, so today I wanted to take this time out and talk about a few books that I read last year in the month of December. When I say few books, I mean two. I'm talking about a series that I read last year, and it's one of the most popular series right now on bookstagram, booktube, and booktok. Since there is no booktok in India, I can only talk about bookstagram and booktube. So these books are quite famous and they are fantasy. So I'm talking about Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. Yes. Before I begin with the review, I just want to tell you that I'm also going to be spoiling these books. So there are going to be spoilers, but at the end of this video. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, you can watch the first half of this video, and the second half is all going to be spoilers. So because I want to rant and complain, so it's kind of like a rant more than a review. So if you want to be a part of this rant, keep watching till the end. So before I review this book, I just want to tell you that I ended up receiving a copybook. I didn't receive the original one. This is not the original book, and I was so angry when I got this because I spent about 400 rupees on this book, and you know, I wanted a paperback version, and the paperback was 400, and I thought it was gonna be an original version because I saw the reviews and all the reviews were all good about it. But then after I bought it, I realized, okay, so those reviews were about the hard copy and not the paperback, and I ended up losing 400 because apparently this is non-refundable. And yeah, that's my life right now. I cannot return it, nor I can refund it. So that's me, yeah, all the time doing silly things, I ended up buying a non-original book, and the entire reading experience was compromised because of it. When you read an original book, you get a good feeling because reading is not just about reading, it's the entire experience altogether. And I was this kind of stole the entire reading experience, which kind of made me very, very sad. So, the way you can differentiate between an original and a non original book is by the margins, especially. There's a lot of gap on the top, and then look at how the book goes in between, if you can see. And then you can also notice it with the ink marks. You will see sometimes ink is getting really dark and sometimes it's getting really, really light. So yes, the entire reading experience was a little sad because of this stupid purchase that I made. I do not advocate buying copybooks because writers work really hard to publish the books, and you're kind of disrespecting the authors by just buying the copied version. So anyways, so let me just start with the review. So let's start with Fourth Wing. With Fourth Wing, the problem was that it was very predictable. So let me just start with the writing, and then I'll go with the plot line, then the characters, and then just my complete opinion. I think people who are non-readers and readers can definitely read these books, especially the popular books, because of the writing. It's very, very easygoing. You don't have to sit with a dictionary all the time trying to understand what the author is trying to say. So that's a plus point when it comes to popular books. The writing is very easygoing, so it's very easy to follow, it's very easy to visualize and everything. But somehow I prefer Sarah J. Maas's writing. I don't know why. I liked her writing. I like her writing better than Rebecca Yarros' writing style. It's just, I think with her writing there's at least some flair, but with Rebecca Yarros I don't know, to be honest. It's all easygoing, with especially when it comes to fantasy, and if the writing is easygoing, you can follow a bit. You can follow faster. You can keep on reading and reading and reading, and it's just sometimes I do miss the proper writing style, with great phrases which make you think. But again, with these books, you don't really have to think about the phrases, the philosophy behind what the author is trying to say and everything. So yeah, that's one thing about Fourth Wing, that it's very easy to read. That's all I wanted to say. It's easy to read. It's a very easy writing style. So give it a shot if you're new to reading. Give it a shot if you're new to fantasy. So if you want something with flair, something with more meaning, then don't go ahead with this book. Since I spoke about the writing style, now comes the plot line. Fourth Wing was very predictable, so I preferred Iron Flame more than Fourth Wing. It's a very unpopular opinion because there are very few people who liked Iron Flame. There are a lot of people who liked Fourth Wing. So Fourth Wing kind of gave a lot of Divergent and Hunger Games vibes, which was pretty exciting because I grew up reading the Hunger Games and Divergent. Imagine saying that I grew up reading those books. Man, I've become very old. Seriously, I used to read those books when I was 13, and now when I think of it, time has passed a lot. It has passed a lot, and it's already 2024. Damn, I have become really old. Anyway, so that kind of was really exciting because I used to love the Hunger Games. I used to love Divergent, and I kind of got the same vibes, minus the dragons and magic, of course. But I thought it was very exciting. And in the very beginning, few chapters, all exciting, everything was going good. But slowly, when the plot progressed, I was like, okay, I think I went in with a lot of expectations. Thanks to the hype, honestly. I went in with a lot of expectations, and it kind of ended up being very disappointing because I was expecting something grand, I was expecting something new, something refreshing, and I don't know why. I am not a big fantasy reader. I haven't read a lot of fantasy books because I've just gotten introduced to the world of fantasy. Even though I just got introduced into the world of fantasy, I kind of could predict, I could predict what was going to happen next. So it was not a real page turner. It was very good in the beginning. I was hooked and I was so excited to learn what's going to happen next because it's a college scenario, where they're all fighters and there's like either you graduate or you die, everything, it was all so exciting. Like, yes, I'm in that zone, where students are gonna go and fight and learn to be riders. They're gonna have dragons, and there are enemies, and there was enemies to lovers. It was all so exciting. Bad macho man versus a very fragile girl falling in love, and I was like, yes, this is my kind of book. This is a book that I wanted to read for long. And when I did read, I went in with a lot of expectations, and bam, Fourth Wing was very disappointing because I could predict the end. I saw some of the videos where people were like, I just couldn't predict the end, and I was like, no, I think it was pretty obvious where the end was going. So that's one. And with Iron Flame, I preferred Iron Flame more because it had all the fantasy things that I needed from a book. So it had more about the dragons. It had more about the history of the entire the city Basquiat. I don't know how to pronounce it. I pronounce it Basquiat. So I know it is wrong because I saw one of the interviews where Rebecca Yarros pronounced it something else. So Basquiat, I think she pronounced it. I don't know how, but anyways, so there was history. There was a lot of action. There was a war. I liked all that. There was a lot of discovery about weapons. I kind of liked those intricacies. I genuinely liked them, and I thought it delved deeper and deeper into it. There was a villain too in this book, which I found very exciting. That kept me on my toes. It was a page turner, and I didn't, I couldn't predict where this book was going on. So that was pretty exciting. But again, I have a few complaints about it, which I'm going to be spoiling it later in the video, but I'm just letting you know that I preferred this book more than this. So if you want to hear me rant about the characters, now it's your time to exit if you don't want me to spoil anything from this book. So just one thing before you leave, if you really want to get out of a reading slump, I think this series is going to be great because the writing is very easy. It's very easy to follow. You'll find a few characters very annoying, but again, I think if you miss the Divergent and the Hunger Games excitement and the vibe, then please go ahead and read this. But I say that do not go in with a lot of expectations because you might be disappointed. But Iron Flame was not that disappointing compared to Fourth Wing, but if you haven't read the series yet, just don't go with a lot of expectations. Who knows, you might end up really liking it. So do let me know if you have read any of these books on the comments below. So that's my cue to say bye to you guys if you're not interested in hearing my rant or if you're not interested in spoilers. So bye bye, see you next week. And for the people who are interested in spoilers, what is up with Xaden and Violet constantly fighting over the same thing again and again in this book? Why? I mean, I got so bored reading about them fighting. Firstly, I get it why Xaden had a lot of secrets from Violet because they were just dating. They just started to date. And then she keeps saying, he broke my trust. Will I ever trust him again? Man, just chill down. I got very angry. I mean, I get it. You just started dating a guy, someone who's not so expressive, someone who has gone through a lot of shit, and you expect him to just spill all the secrets to you. I mean, girl, come on, calm down a bit, calm down. And with Xaden, it was a little annoying when he kept saying, you need to ask the right questions. How can one know what to ask? This is very annoying. If somebody keeps telling me that you need to ask the right questions to get the secrets out of me, then only you'll know the secrets, and I'll be very annoyed, to be very honest. It'll be very annoying. I think the dragon bit was the most fun part, especially like in Fourth Wing. There is few extra chapters on from Xaden's perspective, which I didn't know. So my friend, she sent me those chapters and I read them, and I was very excited to see the perspective of Xaden because I liked the communication between Xaden and his dragon. I'm not going to be pronouncing the dragon's names over here because I don't want to embarrass myself online. It's very difficult to pronounce. Very difficult. Especially I have problems with names. I don't know, there's something with me, and I don't know, I struggle pronouncing a few names. I struggle with names in general, remembering them and pronouncing them. Honestly, something is really messed up that I just cannot pronounce a few names, and I'm definitely not going to try pronouncing the dragon's names. So if I say Xaden's dragon, I think you'll get an idea who I'm talking about. And I generally loved the dragons in the book. I think dragons were the best part about the book. There should be a book on dragons' perspective. How interesting would that be? Honestly, just remove Violet and just remove Xaden and just talk about dragons. Just talk about dragons and how they see Violet and Xaden. From the dragon's perspective, that would be a cool read. Don't you think? From a dragon's perspective. Anyways, other than the dragons, I thought few characters were very good. I really liked all the side characters. I really liked Violet's friends, all of them. They were all great, but I didn't find I didn't like the part where Jack came back alive. It was so unnecessary, and there were a lot of loopholes in the story because when Violet killed Jack, right, there was an entire tower that fell on him, right? How is he still alive? Why hasn't anyone spoken about that? Why couldn't they guess it beforehand that Jack is actually a venom, hence he could survive the tower falling on him? I mean, there are a few questions which was left unattended. But again, I think there's a third book coming, and I think Rebecca Yarros, she is going to, I think, focus more on those aspects. And on the second book, Iron Flame, I quite didn't enjoy the bickering between Violet and Xaden. It was non-stop. It was going on and on and on and on. And what was up with the spy scenes? I thought it was unnecessary. There were a few scenes I found very unnecessary. I was like, it was not needed because it's breaking the flow. There could have been more to that. You know, she could have focused more on Varish. I'm not gonna pronounce the name, just letting you know. The villain of Iron Flame, Varish, right? So I really liked his part in the book because he actually kept me on my toes. So that part where he was torturing Violet and how she was fighting against him, it was all very, very interesting. I think the author could have built more on that. It would have been very, very fun to read, you know, more and more on that. I wish there could have been a part 2. I wish there could have been, this book could have been split, or few pages could have been removed, especially when it came to Violet and Xaden's constant bickering. I hate the fact that she kept saying, do I still trust him? I don't trust him. Man, calm down. Just calm down. Other than Violet and Xaden constantly fighting, I also found one thing very annoying was Violet's black dragon. It's just every time she was in trouble, he was always like, I'm coming, Silver One. I mean, by the time he lands, all the troubles that Violet was going through was over. I mean, that part, I think I haven't seen any review on that, or maybe it's just me. I found it very annoying. Why isn't he ever there on time? That was very annoying, very, very annoying to read. Every time she was in trouble, she would call for him, and the dragon would take forever to come. Honestly, why? It was very irritating, but I did like the take on the little dragon. Of course, the dragon had to be heroic at some points, of course. I mean, it's a dragon and it's Violet's dragon, it's a protagonist dragon, so why not? But overall, I feel the plot was not that bad. I felt like the villain could have been explained more. I wish he was there for a longer time. I didn't like the way that book ended. I didn't like the way they killed Varish. I think it felt too easy the way he died. I feel like he could have been played a little bit stronger or something like that. I don't know, I felt like Violet and Dane could just easily kill Varish, and which was really, really disappointing because I wanted Varish to go on longer, because that was a page turner. I really liked every time he was there trying to annoy Violet. I was like, ugh, but I was feeling something. There was this excitement of knowing what is he going to do next, you know, how is he going to torture Violet again? Like, those questions were coming, so I think the author could have extended his bit more, so that would have made the book more interesting, and then focus on the war in the next book, you know. First could have been just defeating Varish and then the war, or just could have cut out the bickering part, which was very, very, very annoying. And then the last part of the book made me I wanted to throw the book out of my sight, because the last part annoyed me. It was like, why did the author turn Xaden into a villain? Why? why Rebecca Yarros, why did you do that? I was so excited that the war was over. Now what's going to happen next? Is the leader gonna come? I thought a lot of things could have been done better, could have been done different, but turning Xaden into Venom didn't make sense. But again, that would be an interesting plot for part 3, how he'll fight the Venom in him, you know. There's a lot of excitement when it comes to fantasy because it's a different world completely, a lot of fights, a lot of dragons, which makes it very interesting. So let me know what you thought of Iron Flame and Fourth Wing. The only mistake I have done with Fourth Wing was I went in with a lot of expectations, and at the same time I got a copied version of this book, so it kind of made the entire reading experience a little sad, but I think it just works out. Iron Flame was pretty good. I got this version, it was gifted to me, and the original version is genuinely amazing to read. The reading experience was great. Even though I'm not a big fan of hardcovers, I think this book makes sense in a hardcover. So yes, it's very pretty to hold and see. I prefer Iron Flame way more than Fourth Wing, and do let me know what you thought on the comments below about this. What are your views, and what do you think Violet's signet is, the other signet? I think she can talk to the dead. I mean, she spoke to Liam, right? Her best friend who died. So I think she can speak to the dead. It might be that or something else. Let's see. Next book. I'm waiting for the next book. I want to know what happens to Xaden. I want to know Violet's powers. Apparently it was very, very evident in this book, but apart from her seeing the dead, I don't know what else could be her power. Let's see. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy this video, please press the like button and the subscribe button. And if you do like my videos, please feel free to share it. And if you want me to review a specific book, I've put my Amazon wishlist in the description below, so you can send me a few books if you want me to review them. So thank you so much for all the love and all the support, and I hope you have a great day ahead, and see you next week. Bye.